As competition for land and water intensified between livestock farmers and those growing crops, long decade of violence between farmers and herders worsened across many parts of Nigeria's northwestern state, leaving many thinking of ways to stem the violence sweeping through the region. With over 3 million out of the Nigeria's 40 million cattle population, Sokoto State, recently hit by banditry and farmer-herders related conflicts, may have just found a solution to the problem of herds management across the country.
We are one of the few states with minimal farmer-herders clash. We usually have an interaction between our farmers and herders. And each program we want to conduct will invite both parties. For instance, we have a place, a village in Dogondaji, where you'll find farmers, herders coexisting in the same place. Both of them are farmers, both of them are herders. And the demarcation of these grazing reserves have helped us in minimizing such crises. Because we demarcate a place, and before we do that, we will have a meeting between the farmers and the herders, and that this is the limit of each and every one of you. And with that, you don't have a problem. You see, the major challenge we are having is not providing the Fulani to have access to feed and water. In these grazing lands, we plant pastures and we provide water as earth dams, which they will use in doing their business. Now, a farmer has no business in going to any grazing land to graze, to farm. We have taken adequate measures by setting up committees at various levels, both local and state levels, to monitor the encouragement of these facilities. And again, we also limit the herders from crossing over to farms, especially during the farming season. So this has actually minimized this. Even when there is absolute problem of feed, especially during dry season, the state government has taken initiative of producing its own feed and be given to these farmers. We want to go into a very large scale now so that we will continue to minimize the farmers-herders clash.
In 2011, Governor Amin Waziri Tambuwal of Sokoto State launched the state cattle breeding program with the importation and distribution of over 170 exotic cattle to upgrade local breed, improve herd management, as well as to minimize conflict between herders and those growing crops.
Brangus breed that we have weighs about 500 to 1,000 kg in less than 1.5 years of age. Currently, the breeds we have are in that category. We have the combination of Sokoto Gudali and Brangus, as well as Sokoto Gudali and Jersey, Sokoto Gudali and Jersey and Holstein. This has improved the capacity in terms of size of these animals, and that means more meat for our butchers and more money for our livestock producers. We also realize that pasture development or pasture or feed consumes about 75% of the cost of production. And what we do is to ensure that we produce feed first for our cluster farmers and then for other pastoralists. We have cleared already 5,000 hectares at Rapa with all the pivot irrigation system. But because of insurgency, we had to suspend there and then hurriedly go to Dogondaji and initiate the pasture development process. We have already done the rainy season and we are currently doing the dry season farming, where we have planted sorghum, lab, napier, bracharia, sorghum, a lot of things. We have the feed mill that we established where we'll be processing and packaged and sold to our farmers at subsidized rate. This will encourage them to go more into this production. That's livestock production. Now, the farmers have already keyed into this. Many people are now looking for us to do the artificial insemination and embryo transfer for them. And I'm telling you, in no distant future, you will now have more improved breeds in terms of dairy production and meat production.
The scheme is also part of the state government deliberate but well-conceived plan to settle pastoralists, which is currently bringing calm and improving herds management in Sokoto State. Under the program, there are 13 clusters of dairy farms mixed with both local and foreign breeds, spacious housing, constant supply of feeds and supplements that encourages the farmers to grow further for their herds, and veterinary skills, including setting up cooperative and send their produce to government or private milk processing facilities.
This is Sidi Omar Palm, one of the 13 beneficiary clusters that benefited from the animals given to them by the Sokoto state government in order to enhance the productivity of our local breed. Each and every cluster, each farm was given 9 number of cattle, 6 female dairy cow, 2 male dairy bulls, and 1 beef bull. Also, milking equipment were given to each and every farm. So also is the holding facilities, generator and water tanks given to the farms.
Since its establishment, the state government has made significant and appreciable investments toward achieving the set objectives.
The State Ministry of Animal Health has done some modest developmental progress in terms of performance in achieving our mandate. The first is that we looked at the livestock and fisheries subsectors of agriculture holistically. And what we do is also to look at the departments we have and itemize our programs. We have the veterinary services department, we have the livestock services department, we have range management department, we have fisheries department. These are the key 4 technical departments apart from the normal administration and also monitoring departments.
The first major steps includes demarcation of 19 grazing reserves for the pastoralists, redesigning and equipping Sokoto dairy processing plant where 5,000 liters of caliphate yogurt is processed.
Our tank has a capacity of 2,000 liters, 2,500 liters at a time. In a day, we can operate twice in a day. So that means we can operate up to 5,000 liters of fresh milk in a day. But 2,500 is our capacity of our tank. Yes. So we normally pasteurize. When we pasteurize, we decream. When we decream, we come here and make it in a sachet. If we want, we can use the can one. We have the machine there that we can operate and put all our fresh milk, all our yogurt in a can. Up there, we have the inoculation tanks where we inoculate. You know, when we receive the 2,500 liters, we have to pasteurize. After pasteurization, we homogenize. After homogenizing, we give it 8 hours to inoculate. After that 8 hours, our yogurt is ready for packaging.
To further ensure effective implementation of the scheme, the Sokoto Cattle Breeding Office was established and fully equipped with 24-hour service veterinary clinic, mobile veterinary laboratory, state-of-the-art digital conference hall, establishment of 50 liters daily capacity liquid nitrogen plant, establishment of well-equipped artificial insemination and embryo transfer facility, among others.
In addition to the semen storage, sample storage, it can also be used in ice cream production.
Okay.
So these are our liquid nitrogen dealers or liquid nitrogen tanks. For example, you want to conduct an artificial insemination on the kill. There is no way you can carry this one and move it. So what you need to do is to drain your liquid, produce liquid nitrogen into one of these ones. Then you take it to the field. We have look at how it looks like.
All these are semen inside. They are live cells.
Yes.
Liquid nitrogen may not necessarily be used for only preservation. Other laboratories come here to buy it. So Those who are conducting researches in the universities and the hospitals, they also require the use of this liquid nitrogen. So now, instead of us going to Port Harcourt, Jos, or Zaria to buy, we can be able to produce our own liquid nitrogen here for our own use and for sale to other sister organizations.
The veterinary clinic is a clinic that provides a lot of services to the general public. One of the services is clinical services, where we treat a number of animals of different species. The species include the ovine species, which we call sheep, the caprine species, which we call goat, the avian species, which we call poultry or chickens, and then the small animal comprising the dog, cat, and other species of animals. As at last year, we had like 17,386 cases, among which the surgical cases are up to 3,077, while the non-surgical cases are 14,386. So for this year, the first quarter, we had like, to date, we are having 7,260 cases, among which 1,261 were surgical cases, and then the remaining ones are non-surgical cases.
At least every day we do conduct 2 to 3 surgeries. As of last year, we recorded, I think, over 800 to 900 surgical cases. 800 to 900 surgical cases in both small and large animals. The number of animal surgical procedures that came out with complication are few, because we make sure that we carry out the necessary things before going in. Probably we carry out pre-surgical evaluation. We check if the animal is fit for the surgery or not, and there's what we call pre-surgical prophylaxis, antibiotic prophylaxis, that we normally administer to animals before surgery. All this will help us in preventing post-surgical complications.
This is the machine that we normally test whether the animal has enough blood or not, because before we go further to carry out some major theaters, which include CS, luminotomy, herniorrhaphy, and whatever, we have to actually test and see whether if the animal can take the surgery.
And part of what the government did was to ensure that we have veterinary clinics across the 24 local government areas, as well as establishing a procedure of performance of our veterinary doctors. Of course, we give automatic employment to our veterinary doctors when they graduate, as well as giving salary to our students that are in 400, 500, and 600 levels, so as to encourage them to stay and perform well without getting any interference, especially financial difficulties. This has increased the number of enrollment of our students to read veterinary medicine, particularly the ladies. Currently, we have more than 160 veterinary doctors in our kitty, all under the employment of the state government. You can hardly find any state that has this quantity of veterinary doctors working. 2, we brought in some equipment, modern ones, like X-ray machines, mobile and static one, ultrasound machines, and a lot of them that we station in some of our clinics. Currently, Sokoto State is the only state that operates a 24-hour veterinary services in the country. If you go to our Legiado clinic now, you'll see our veterinary doctors at any hour of the time. This is in addition to the purchase of vehicles for ambulatory services, so that you can be able to reach anywhere in Sokoto State without having to bring in your animal from wherever you are. This is, for instance, when you need some specialist interventions, apart from our general veterinary doctors that are in general practice. maybe you want to conduct surgery, we have vehicles that we go in to do that surgery with our doctors. We have some call duty vehicles that bring in our doctors at any time of the night to come and attend to our animals.
Governor Amin Waziri Tambuwal, through the State Ministry for Animal Health and Fisheries Development, is currently improving the quality and quantity of milk produced by beneficiaries from 3 liters to between 10 to 30 liters per cow daily.
Sai da muka fara mun soma da shanu ɗan kaɗan, amma cikin ikon Allah muna ɗan tantance muna so abinci muna ba su muna ɗan tanadin su suna girma suna haihuwa sun kasu amma ɗaya. Yau ka duba nan za ka ɗaya ga can waɗanda muka keɓe daban. Akwai su akwai ƙananan su kuma, sannan kuma akwai wanda ajararai. Waɗannan kuma suna muka zamna su ko yanzu abin da muke da su waɗanda sun ka tsufa za mu rage su mu sai su mu kuma so sabbi mu kuma sa. Haka muke magana insha Allah. Madara da muna samun lita 20 lita 30 yanzu kuma insha Allah ma samun lita 50 kullum muna samun su insha Allah kare 8 na sahi in ka zo ka same su muna kai su ana ga can wurin injin sai a da muna tanki amma saboda wurin ya zan tamfari gare mu yanzu za mu tahir nan sai mu dauke injin muka bashe wajen samarot sai muke zo a dawa ta a yi komai sai a sai su.
While the beef component of the program has improved the weight of the animals from between 150 kg and 350 kg to 500 kg and 1000 kg.
You realize that initially our farmers will just produce about 3 to 4 liters maximum of milk per cow per milking. Now currently I'm speaking to you, you realize that some of these animals are producing between 10 to 30 liters per cow per milking per day. This has increased not only the economic income of these people, but also improved the employment opportunities because they have to employ more people to handle these animals and also in the production of the milk they are doing. Most of them are now producing yogurt. In order not to waste the yogurt if they couldn't sell it, we also resuscitated completely with new equipment our dairy plant, whereby we collect milk from these people that are unable to sell it off, or from our pastoralists who hitherto will just be throwing away the milk they own, and we process it and then we sell to the members of the general public. Currently, we have the capacity of processing 5,000 liters of milk daily at our milking plant, and this has generated a lot of opportunity and also economic development. We have the Artificial Insemination and Embryo Transfer Center. This was built and well equipped with a modern conference room that we conduct our international conferences or international engagements, both national and international engagements, using the modern technology. Then we have the AI laboratory, Artificial Insemination Embryo Transfer Laboratory. As I'm telling you, if you go and look at it, it's one of the most well equipped in the country. I don't think there is any laboratory, be it either private, university or state, that has the facilities that we have in that place. Then apart from that, we also engage in the production of liquid nitrogen, where we have a plant for that. Currently, we produce between 40 to 45 liters of liquid nitrogen daily, and this is used in the maintenance and storage of our semen and embryo. And it can also be used in doing some scientific research, like in the storage of bacteria and viruses. So apart from using it for the storage of semen and embryo, we can also commercialize it for people that are interested in it. We are the only state that has such facilities.
To fully expand the program, community artificial insemination program across the state was intensified to enhance productivity of indigenous livestock. Free annual vaccination program was reintroduced to address the problem of transboundary animal diseases, and pasture of different varieties at Dogon Daji was developed to ensure all year-round availability of livestock feeds for high productivity.
The project scope, it is intended to at least cover most of our local farmers who are having these local breeds, so that when they are crossbreed with the exotic ones brought from South Africa, they will at least improve their own milk and for meat production. So at least economically they will be viable, and the productivity will also increase by the state in terms of GDP. So I think that aspect will be better off when properly harnessed with the little we have and this incoming process we are bringing now. We are now in the second phase now. We already finished with the first phase and we have seen the outcome, the result achieved so far we are successfully. We have a lot of the genotype of the protein of the animals giving birth to the smaller ones and crossbreed. So with time, the third one maybe we will have a complete exotic animal after the size piece of this one.
On the aspect of fisheries development project, the administration of Governor Amin Waziri Tambol is restocking fishing water bodies with high premium fish, distribution of boats, fishing equipment, and grants to the fishermen and women around major fishing areas in the states.
The fish actually will have two sub-components. We have artisanal and we have the culture fisheries. When I say artisanal, it means those fishing on the river. One other culture, it means fish farming. So there are some understanding or some cooperation between our ministry and this category of farmers and the fishermen. In every aspect, our ministry is doing its best to see that at least this category of farmers and fishermen will equally be enjoy the decision of the government. So we had a program of empowerment last 3 years. We had an empowerment program on fish farmers. We do give them fingerlings, plastic tanks, feeds, and feeds, all free. So that we want to encourage them to partake in this business so that it will increase it will meet up the demand, ever-existing demand of the people in the state. So with the artisanal and with the capture, when it's merged together, at least we'll be able to meet up the existing demand of our citizens. Last time we had a problem with sometimes the depletion of some of the products, yes, like fish. So state government introduced some of the restocking program, so that with that water you have seen, water bodies, at times they have some challenges. So we did a restocking program where over 1 million fingerlings was stocked at various locations, various water bodies. Yes. And according to our edicts, when this is done, fishermen will be restricted from interim water for at least a period of 6 months. So you may ask me, then what are they going to do? Then government provide alternative. When you are asked to develop from fishing for a certain period, government now introduce some supportive package to give in terms of grants, in terms of grinding machine, so that the activity will be moved or shifted to these economic activities before this time reaches. So you have to abandon this one and you are given an alternative. So you will not be left, I don't know, not doing nothing. Yes, that's the essence of providing this incentive to fishermen who are asked to withdraw from this farming, fish farming season till these fingerlings grow as like at least 6 months. Under normal circumstances, it takes 6 months to grow table size.
Clearly, Governor Amin Waziri Tambol's wonderful vision, styling qualities and excellent contributions to this sector are so outstanding that they cannot come to pass without recognition.
These projects have actually repositioned our state in terms of economic development, because from our focus has shown that we should be able to generate over 500 billion naira annually from these programs, this breeding system, cattle breeding. So with a state that has a budget of less than 200 billion, earning over 500 billion, you can see that we don't have to wait for any handout from the federal government, as well as we'll do some capital projects with what we have generated. This is actually a well-conceived program from His Excellency that he wants to leave a legacy that even if these programs have not been achieved in its entirety, at least the incoming governments will be able to benefit from what I've just said, the 500 billion naira. The issue is that he has set up the face of doing this. If we have governors that have this focus, if we have people that have this focus of not trying to generate money and spend them, but trying to generate income for the state, even if they are not going to use it.
While the Sokoto State Ministry of Animal Health and Fisheries Development continues to collaborate with foreign and domestic development partners, the state government is currently looking to establish veterinary specialist hospital, which is expected to be the first in the entire northern Nigeria.
We are able to consolidate what we are doing by trying to bring in investors who are coming to show interest based on what they have seen. And this is evident by the accolades and recognition we have. Just last year, the award which was done this year was given to our minister, the most performing outstanding ministry in the country for both agriculture and animal health. Again, we also had an award from South Africa, International Society for Brangus, which is a breed that is meant for meat production. The president of the International Society, which is based in, based in South Africa, gave an award to me on behalf of the state government as the most performing country and state in terms of Brangus performance. This is done actually annually. I never knew about it when we went to South Africa, because we're in the process of bringing in about 250 to 300 more exotic breeds of animals, which are already selected and will be given to the farmers.
Nigeria's cattle population is currently estimated at 40 million, 3 million here in Sokoto State. But while conflict continues between farmers and herders across many parts of northwestern region, Sokoto State government says its plan to settle pastoralists is bringing calm and raising outputs across the states.